Hello everyone. For today's Murphy Law Monday, I want to touch on the topic of co-parenting during a global pandemic. And I wanted to do this video because I know that there have been a lot of questions about what you should and should not be doing during this time and the best practices for exchanging children pursuant to an existing court order. Now, I'll be the first to say that if there is a court order, whether it be a temporary, meaning a pendite lite order, or if there is a permanent order in place, you should be abiding by the order. The courts have made this crystal clear in their orders and the stay-at-home orders that have been issued, everything from the governor, everything says that if there is an order, you need to be abiding by it. Now, with that, I know that you have concerns about exchanging a child during a pandemic. You have concerns about what the child is being exposed to while in the other person's care and custody. And I think that those concerns are valid. But I think that the best practice in staying in conformity with the court's order is to voice those concerns to the other parents, not to forbid them from seeing the minor child. And I think that from the court's perspective, that's the worst thing that you can do during this time. They want to keep some type of normalcy for children. They want children to remain in an environment and a consistent schedule that they're used to. Now, if you have these concerns, again, I encourage you to voice them to the other parent. But in addition to that, you can sterilize their backpack. You can sterilize the suitcase that they use. You can require that it not even come in the house, different things like that. If you have concerns, you can make the child, take a bath as soon as they get home. Harp about the importance of washing their hands and keeping everything sanitized, not going around strangers or not going into big gatherings, things like that. And you can encourage the child to let you know if those things happen. So again, you can keep notation to report back to the court if need be at a later time. However, I do not think the solution is just to say he can't or she can't see the child just because you have concerns about there being a pandemic. In addition to that, I would say just keep an open line of communication. If you guys did agree for the child to stay in one place and not to go between homes, even if there is an order, you want to make sure that the other party has access to the child. You want to facilitate reading time, maybe on Zoom and Google Hangouts. You want to have homework time. I know it's summer now, so some children don't have homework, but maybe you guys purchase a activity book or a learning book that mom or dad sits and watches on video and helps them go through it together. Different things like that, just to be creative, because again, the child is the important factor in this, not you and not the other parent, and not necessarily the concerns that you have about the other parent or the child seeing the other parent. I also encourage that if you did need some instant reaction or you needed some guidance on how to move during this time and you wanted to potentially mediate an issue that you have with the other party about the exchanges of the minor child, since the courts are closed and are only hearing certain emergency matters, notwithstanding the cases that are being held virtually, I would suggest that you even seek out the professionals such as therapists or mediators to go over those issues and try to give you some coping mechanisms to get over the concerns that you have about the other party's parenting while we're in the midst of this pandemic. I do not, again, think the solution is to forbid them from seeing the child. Courts are despising that. I've had status hearings where courts have held other parties in contempt of court for not allowing the parents to see the other child during their court order access, and they also are not allowing the child to see the parent because of concerns that they don't have any weight to the court to give. So it's one thing to say I have a concern about the child going out of state, but then it's a whole nother to say that the child went out of state. So you need to have concrete facts if you're going to be using this as a basis for not abiding by the order. And I'm not at all encouraging you not to abide by the order. I think you should 100% abide by the order at this time. Just put some extra caution and precautionary measures in place that you can feel comfortable in doing so. If you're in need of legal services in the state of Maryland or in the District of Columbia, please give my office a call, 240-493-9116 and www.amurphylegal.com. Thank you.